So I thought I'd make this video today about a problem that's gone pandemic. That problem is called click bombing. And for those of you that are not familiar with that term, those of you in the community, the Adsense community, it means when someone maliciously and intentionally clicks on your ads repeatedly with the intent of getting you banned. Since they know that Google has an auto ban policy and you are guilty until proven innocent, the chances of you getting your account reinstated are literally less than zero. The only time that an appeal works with Google is if you have proof of some sort, which is why AdSense Defender was built. Let me share a story with you about a friend of mine who purchased a site from Flippa, and this isn't by no means an attack on Flippa in any way, but he purchased a site there for about $2,500. It was an AdSense site, it had good income, and we knew it could be better. We had talked about it. So he purchased it and started monetizing it. Shortly thereafter, he received an email from Google saying his account had been banned due to invalid clicks and suspicious activity. Well, that account had over 150 sites on it, was making over 10 grand a month. So he went from $100,000 a year, over $100,000 a year in AdSense, to zero. Faster than you can say, whose side is Google on? Google has stated their policy, and unless you can show some proof, you have, again, virtually almost no chance of getting reinstated. A lot of people think that's for big counts, that's for the big guys. It's not. It's for everybody in any niche that's just getting started. It doesn't matter. You can be crippled before you even get going. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to code AdSense Defender. Here's a post from our good pals at the Warrior Forum, and you can see this one is dated, but I see this every day. You can do a search and see the same thing for yourself. It only took 6 days for this person, this individual, to lose their account. And if you read the rest of this post, you'll see why he's so upset. So here in Google Groups, we have another lucky winner of click bombing, and he talks about his account being disabled for invalid activity, and he's certain of being a victim of account sabotage. It goes on here to say, in the very first or second sentence rather, that the email was written in the tone of lose all hope, don't even bother to try, and that's why he didn't continue to try to find a resolution for the problem. It does go on to state in the next paragraph that he fortunately found Google is aware of how account sabotage is a real problem and how easy it is for anyone to bring down the site simply by clicking on it manually. Don't forget, there's plenty of places you can pay to do it for you. He goes on to state that the email offered no ways of getting the account back, and all support pages pointed to this forum or this groups in Google Groups. So by hiding these things, it doesn't really help the situation any, and they make it as difficult as possible, evidently, because it has something to do with national security. Here's a reply that was made, and it's very important. Not only does it show the link or the contact form for the appeal, but he says, do you have any technical proof of that? If not, your appeal is bound to fail. One of the very best features of AdSense Defender is that it records those IPs for you that attack you, so you have proof that someone is trying to disable your account through nefarious means. I thought this third post was very telling. This person did voluntary work at Google and learned a lot about some of the things that go on here. He talks about it here and he says, alas, your chances of reinstatement are extremely limited even though you observe and have experienced account sabotage. Now this is interesting. Google, as it notes in its sabotage policy, meaning that Google is aware that sabotage exists, so they created a policy for it to protect themselves. It continues, Google expects publishers to be responsible for their accounts and to monitor and manage things to prevent harm to AdWords advertisers. They're not concerned with you or I or the rest of the AdSense community. It's the advertisers that pay their bills. He or she continues, so arriving after the fact and claiming sabotage won't help unless you can show how both you resolve the problem to prevent reoccurrences and your measures to reduce the harm to the third-party advertisers paying the bills. So that pretty much sums up their intent. And fortunately, AdSense Defender gives you the opportunity to display all that information to them, and you can thereby increase the chances of you being reinstated if by chance you do get click bombed and they do disable your account. Naturally, if you're running AdSense Defender, it's going to block that. So this goes under the category of showing malicious activity aimed at your account, so Google can become aware that something's happening and investigate it ahead of time. Personally, I'm with this guy right here. AdSense click fraud, click bombing, innocent victims, and we're sick of it. So exactly how bad is this? Lately I've been hearing about something new that Google's been doing. They've been banning AdSense publishers that have the potential for fake clicks. There's a nice little article at johnchow.com if you care to read it. It's displayed right here. And let me give you an excerpt from the email. Hello, after reviewing our records, we have determined that your AdSense account poses a risk of generating invalid activity. Once again, please understand that we need to take such steps, in other words, banning you, to maintain the effectiveness of Google's advertising system, particularly the advertising-publisher relationship. Have you ever heard of the Minority Report? That's that movie where they run around arresting people for thought crimes in advance of them committing any crime at all. Google has expanded on that technology. They now determine in advance that you will be a victim of click fraud and lovingly ban you. The article goes on to read, trying to contact Google is definitely one of the areas they are not too interested in improving. Instead of providing support, they will send you in an endless loop of forum posts, which you've already seen, which will pretty much end up nowhere. If you are lucky enough to finally come across their invalid activity appeal form, you can try your luck again. But he goes on to say, but basically, they sent him a denial email once again after filling it out. So what it really comes down to here is protecting your AdSense accounts before click bombing occurs. So now it's time for a little walkthrough of the tool. As you can see, it works with ClickBump and Content Revenge. It also will work with any normal PHP or HTML site. Also notice right below that you'll see the notices that are live and the updates that come from our free forum. Once you purchase the tool, you have access to a free forum where we will update the product and give you some special information. Here's a glimpse of what the forum looks like. It's really nothing. It's just a free forum so we can do tech support, troubleshooting, upgrades, and we have a known offenders list and user agent list of offenders. As it grows, we update the list and we continue to give that list to you. Should you want something modified or changed or in addition to the tool, we're always willing to listen, and if it's a good idea for everybody, then it's something that we will do. Here's the new projects tab. It's where you place your code and the project name, and you can use an IP list, blocked, UAs list, a geo list, which we'll get to in a minute. That's very important because there's just some countries you can just go ahead and block right now, China being one of them. You can use the Amazon widget or not use it. You can use it in split testing mode, and I just want to reemphasize the split testing mode portion of it again, because a lot of us in the community, in the AdSense community, have been finding that you can make just as much money, if not more, using Amazon. And this can vary from niche to niche, so you have to test it. It will definitely outdo ClickBank and a lot of the other Google alternatives, or so-called alternatives. Down at the bottom you can see the project list. This is just using one project for the purpose of demoing. Here's the IP block list. As you can see, you can do imports. The geo-blocker list, again, there's some places that you just want to dump right off the bat. Afghanistan would be a good start, and there's some others depending, but China is definitely one of the ones you block. UA blocker or user agent. There are some bots that are known to be malicious and they can mess with your ads, and so you want to block them. You can use the user agent. The user agent on the bot stays the same for the most part, we've found, but changes the IP. So you have dual protection here right off the bat. You're doing it by user agent or IP or both. Of course, the ever important block log, so you can see who you're blocking and why. Basic traffic stats right here, so you can see per project who's in, who's out, and who's blocked. Safe IP list would be your IP address that you put in there so that it doesn't change anything on your page, remove or change ads. You become safe, or this IP becomes safe. Basically, that's the tool in a nutshell. It has a lot of features. Don't let it intimidate you. It just gives a lot of flexibility for the advanced user, and after you've used it a couple of times, it's going to be no issue for you whatsoever. For new people, there's really only one setting you need to worry about, and that's max views per IP or max clicks per IP, and that's really all you have to set it to. These other things are just for advanced testing and money-making opportunities that you can take advantage of should you want to. Again, we have a free forum that you belong to where you can ask any questions, get any help, and we have 24/7 support. Let me show you some demos of how the tool works. This is a very well-known, and I'm saying that sarcastically, site called sophisticatedbarbecue.com, and it has a Google ad running right there, and this is doing a split test. So you see the first time somebody came, and it's set for 2, so there we go. And then it's back to Google's ad, and you're testing to see which one's working better, and eventually, there you go. We will no longer see any Google ads no matter how many times we come back here to this now, because obviously we've been attacking the site over and over again. As you can see, only the Amazon link will show now. Only the Amazon ads will show. So, and you notice, obviously, it's contextually correct when you use the Amazon widget on there. So, and that's another point I wanted to bring up about this tool as well. It will compare apples to apples. So you put this on a site with Google Adsense, it's going to display contextually the same information or the same type of products as would Google. So your chances of making money don't go away just because someone's attacked your Google. In fact, it stays there, and possibly through split testing, which you've seen just now, will increase the chance of you making money. Now this tests on the back end, and you can see what's going on, and you can tell by looking at your accounts which one's making more money. You can set this for any number that you want to. It can do it every 10 or every 100 displays. It will change it from Google AdSense to Amazon and back again, and keep doing that until you turn it off. I failed to mention that this is ClickBump running on here right now. Many of you are familiar with my friend Craig's tool for AdSense called Content Revenge, and here you can see a WordPress site set up with Content Revenge, and at the very top right here you will see that we have an ad loaded. Now there's several on the page. You can cover some ads and not others, or you can cover them all. That's up to you. If you don't have this particular plugin, Content Revenge, I suggest you go get it as soon as you possibly can. But let's see what happens when somebody starts to attack your site. In this particular case, it's set up for just removing it and not replacing it with Amazon. And there she goes. Now I had this at a rather high setting so you could see, but you can set this for any number of times that you wish. If you don't want them to hit it more than 3 times or twice perhaps, you can set it that low to protect yourself. So that, my friends, is AdSense Defender, and I hope that you appreciate the tool as much as I do and find it as useful as I do. It's stopped many malicious competitor and Google themselves, which I'm sure you'll find out as you use the tool in your logs, from getting me banned. And I really appreciate the time you've taken to watch this video, and I hope to see you guys soon in the forum. See ya.